Okay, hello everybody, welcome. As a preliminary matter, this is the Council of Human Services, and I am one of the staff people, Taylor Hills, Director of Human Services. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Jocelyn Ramirez. You're muted.
Here.
Thank you. Athlon Sweeney.
Here.
Brooke Moore.
Here.
Vanessa Rendero.
Here.
Claudia Valle.
Here.
Daryl Westbrook.
Here.
Cindy, you're coming up as Cindy's iPhone and I'm forgetting your last name.
Rivera.
Cindy
Here.
Rivera. Thank you. Clearly you're here. Thank you. Okay. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Ann Medina.
Here.
Thank you. Okay, and we don't have any anticipated speakers. So this open meeting of the Council for Human Services is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020, due to the state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment that I can anticipate. For this meeting, the Council of Human Services is convening by video conference via Zoom app as posted in the town's website identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other people may be able to see you and to take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials, there's none for this meeting, that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noticed. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I or the chair notes otherwise. We are going to turn to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I, and then the chair, will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in conversation with other members, please do so through the chair and through me until we have a chair. And for items of public comment, after members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment to those members of the public that have joined the meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their names and be acknowledged and speak through the chair, though I don't anticipate that. Finally, each vote taken at this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. Even if it's an unopposed election on Zoom, we still have to do a roll call. So the first item on our agenda is to elect the chair. And the responsibilities of the chair include basically facilitating the meeting, reading what I just read, agenda preparation, and chairs can't make a motion, but they can ask for a motion. Chairs often represent the group at various other meetings or events, though certainly the vice chair could or another designated member. And the vice chair is essentially a fill-in. So does anyone have any questions about the roles of chair or vice chair? They're basically the meeting facilitator.
You know what George's daughter is?
Okay, so we'll do chair, vice chair, and then we will appoint 2 members to the contract review committee. Just so you guys are aware, someone can hold 2 roles. The chair or vice chair could also be the person on the contract review committee. So what that is a body that meets half the year, Anne, correct me if I'm wrong, we usually meet October through January. And then we
Yes.
also decided to start meeting quarterly outside of that. And
Yes.
that group is charged with reviewing grant applications from various local not-for-profit human services agencies that apply for grant funding through the town. It's quite a time commitment. It's an unbelievable group, and it's such a huge gift to have taxpayer dollars to be able to distribute and administer in this way. It's really, really incredible. I would say that it's at least once a week for a couple of hours between October and January. Or Anne, would you say it's sometimes more?
Sometimes they'll do like the initial meetings with the agencies, like they'll do 2 or 3 meetings a week for like 2 to 3 hours. That right at the very beginning. It all depends on everybody's work schedule and how they want to meet, but it's usually at the very beginning, at least twice a week.
Okay, that's more than I realized. So I came in on the end of it last year. It's a big commitment. It's pretty amazing. And just so you guys know, I know you all already did conflict of interest, but if you have any sort of stake, financial or otherwise, in one of the agencies that typically receives funding, we have a handful that tend to apply most years. It wouldn't make sense for you to nominate yourself or be nominated to be one of those people. So I will go through those agencies now, just so you're all aware of who currently receives CRC funding, though, of course, any nonprofit in the future could apply. So A Safe Place, Alliance for Substance Abuse Prevention, Elder Services of Cape Cod and the Islands, Health Imperatives, Fairwinds, Martha's Vineyard Community Services, though what they do that we pay for is done here, South Coastal Legal Services, the Interfaith Council, which is Nantucket Food, Fuel, and Rental Assistance, Nantucket Cottage Hospital, Small Friends, Artists Association, and Cape Mediation. So if you're employed by one of those agencies, you'd have to recuse yourself from all the votes. So that wouldn't make much sense. For example, even though I don't have voting power on CRC, I used to be a part-time employee of Fairwinds, but when I took this position, I had to leave because I had any sort of role with CRC. So if you have a strong involvement with any of those organizations, I wouldn't recommend it. So that's my CRC pitch. And thank you, Anne, for explaining what a time commitment that is. And we'd like 2 members from this group to be appointed to be part of that. So first I'm going to do the election of the chair, and then they're going to run the rest of the meeting. So you can nominate yourself to be a chair. You're more than welcome to do that. We do like a seconded nomination. So you can nominate yourself, you can nominate somebody else. Take it away. Yes, Brooke?
I'd like to ask Daryl if she's interested in being the chair, as the one person who has been on this committee before.
I honestly, now is not a good time for me to be a chair of something. No, I couldn't take on that responsibility right now.
Thank you for your years of service as the vice chair.
So I'm willing to serve as chair.
And I would second.
Thank you. Does anyone want to do another nomination? Going once, going twice. Okay, Brooke, though you are running unopposed, we still have to do a roll call vote. The Anne will record. Jocelyn?
No.
Athlon?
Yes.
Vanessa? Claudia?
Yes.
Daryl?
Yes?
Cindy?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Chairwoman Brooke, would you like to take over?
I guess I will. So I guess the next item is to elect a vice chair. Do we have any nominations?
Madam Chair, I was just going to say, if Daryl has done that before, do you feel like the vice chair would be something you could do?
Honestly, right now, there's health issues involved, and I'm very involved with the Basket Museum. So, no, I want to give my time to the thing, but I don't want to be. Queen Bee is not me this year.
Heavy is the crown.
Fair enough. I think we all just wanted to make sure you had an opportunity first.
Well, you're very kind, and I do appreciate it, but, and I will be a worker bee, I promise, but not with the title.
Great, great. Does anyone want to raise their hand that they might be interested? Okay, guys. I'm
Someone's
going to
gotta
say
do
gals
it.
because we're all women. Athlon, can I twist your arm, Athlon?
I will, but my only concern is I've never done anything, so I'm going to have to learn.
In terms of like the technical aspect of things too, I give a very heavy-handed amount of assistance to other groups and would be happy to do the same if so wanted.
And just so you know, Athlon, I serve as vice chair of the Affordable Housing Trust, and it's been a really great place to serve and learn, because I too had never chaired anything. So, so if you're willing, anyone else want to express interest, given that there's room to grow in the job and learn, or you guys want to? Not yet? That's fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine. So,
And I'm
So-
okay doing it. I just,
okay.
as long as you
Brooke
have
can't make a motion, so if someone could nominate Athlon and then someone second it, that's what we need.
And I nominate Athlon.
Do we have a second?
I second.
There
Okay,
we
by
go.
roll call vote. Jocelyn?
Yep.
Yes.
Brooke?
Yes.
Vanessa? You're muted.
Yes.
Thank you. Claudia?
Yes.
Daryl?
Yes.
Cindy?
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
Congratulations, Vice Chair. Okay, so the next appointments we need to do are 2 representatives to the Contract Review Committee, the CRC. And it is a big time commitment that comes primarily in the fall and winter. Is anyone interested in taking on that role?
Did you say, this is Cindy Canes, did you say it was 2 hours twice a week?
At the very beginning. That would be more so in October. And that group thus far doesn't really have a set schedule. It's from what I noticed, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's kind of like whatever works for everybody. And then towards the end, like Anne, did it meet at all in December? It certainly seemed like we were playing catch up in January. And then in the winter, it was more like when I came aboard, I noticed it was more like once a week, and the meetings weren't quite as long.
Right. It's usually they meet like 3 agencies at a meeting. We try to get the agencies, we try to give the off-island agencies first dibs of when they can meet, just because they're coming from off-island. Let me just see if we did anything in December.
So that might get easier with COVID if we're still doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we
meeting.
did. We had the 3rd, the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th. So we did a lot in December.
Never mind.
I think the 3rd, we met in November, I think, to set up the schedules. But yeah, December was the heaviest, the 3rd, 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Okay. I'm interested in learning on that committee. I'm hesitant because I work full-time and study at night. So that's why I'm hesitant. So.
Okay, they usually meet like, I think all these meetings started at 10 o'clock in the morning. They usually go 10 to 12.
So is that set in stone? Daytime meeting?
No.
No.
Yeah, okay. I
Because everybody
just want
takes
to
out
make
their calendars. Everybody on the first meeting, everybody takes out their calendar, and it's the convenience of the members of the committee, not the agencies. They have to work around the committee schedule. So it's whatever the committee they decide, days, times.
A lot of it too was it's extremely hard to get meeting space.
Right.
And that happened to
True.
be a time that we could often use Wanacommet Water Company. And I don't foresee, I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't see us resuming in-person meetings soon. So a lot of that was about when we could get a room, because we were really limited to have to meet in person. So that time isn't set in stone at all.
So I'm gonna make a proposal or ask a question, Taylor. Is there a need to have these nominations done today? I'm thinking we have folks who are new to service in government and may, if we get a couple of meetings under our belt, there may be an increase in comfort on their part about what is involved and all of that, and that we could do these nominations a little bit farther down the road.
Not that I'm aware of, especially since we're done for this year. And that, I mean, the contracts for next year haven't even been issued yet, and we don't start the advertising process for new contracts until when, Anne? Probably soon.
The ads of the public notices go in the paper the last 2 weeks of September.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we've got some time.
Yeah, they have to have the budget request back to us by the last week in October.
Yeah, so as far as I know, unless there's something I'm missing, we don't have to do it today.
Okay. So unless anyone's ready to raise their hand today, I'm going to suggest that we roll this over to maybe 2 meetings out and see where we are then. Does that seem reasonable?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to be sensitive to the fact that you guys are most of you are new to this. So
Yes.
I'm feeling a little gobsmacked.
You're totally right.
Yeah, and when you start hearing about what it's all about, you may be like, oh wow, I really want to be part of that. It's sort of a, and we could also ask another member of contract review to join us for a meeting between now and then.
That's a
Talk
really
about
good
their
idea.
experience, and so you can, not that Anne's not there as part of it, but maybe we can have someone come along and give a good sales pitch to the
I
group
love that.
about how great it is. Okay,
Um,
so, yep, Cindy?
Can I ask a question? Yes. Is there any way that we could have 3 members? Like, I don't know if this is structure set in whatever the town regulations, but so that then maybe we can rotate a little bit more,
No.
or if that's just has to be 2.
It has, sorry, Madam Chair, can I take this one?
Yes.
Yes, it has to be 2. It's a set, just like the amount of people that are on Council for Human Services. It can be under, it can't be over.
Okay.
There's two CHS members, 3 members of the public, NPEDC member, a FinCom member. So that's the makeup.
Okay. Well, we're clearly not in a position to appoint anybody today, it seems. So let's go. We don't, the chair can just roll that over to a future agenda, right? We don't need to vote on that, I don't think, procedure-wise.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah. Okay.
Someone might watch this later and tell me different, but I don't think so.
Well, we'll find out. So you guys, I'm new to being a chair, so I'm going to have questions and things to learn too. And sometimes what happens is you do it wrong, and then you have to have a vote at the next meeting to fix what you did wrong at the last meeting. It happens. So we'll get through this together. Okay, discussion of meeting schedule going forward. How do I want to propose this? How many people could do this time on a regular basis, this time of day? Okay. How many
It
people
depends.
need? Mhm. Cindy,
It
go ahead.
depends on what day.
Okay. So what day are you available at 4 p.m.?
I'm not available on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Typically, I have classes those 2 days.
Okay. So would a Wednesday select board, would a Monday at 4 p.m. work for people?
It doesn't work. Pretty much what works best for me is Thursday, Friday.
Okay. All right. How do people feel about a Friday at 4 p.m.? Claudia, I'm seeing.
I know, I just, could be maybe a little later than 4.
Okay.
Later than
That's
4
my question too.
Jay. I could
Okay, so later.
do 6.
Okay. So if we push to, I realize the evening hour for people with kids is 5 better or 7 better? Like
7 for
trying to
me,
working around the dinner hour.
Yeah, 7 for me works perfect.
Aslan?
If we push it to 7, I would prefer not a Friday. I mean, a lot of us may travel on
Right.
the weekend, that kind of thing. I'm thinking it could be a lot of disruption.
Monday at
Okay.
7 is perfect for me. I could do-
Mondays at 7. How does that fall on people?
Yeah, Monday
with
works
me.
for me at 7, yes.
We're
Daryl?
gonna
I
stand.
do Monday at 7.
Okay.
Brooke, on Mondays, in the evening for 1 month, I'm studying. I'm doing a training, so I cannot do it on Mondays, just for 1 month. But after
Okay.
that, I can do it on Mondays at 7.
Okay. I think we're never going to find anything that's perfect for everybody all
Yeah.
the time. And I think once we set a day and a time, then we all get it on our calendars as a repeating. I mean, that's what works for me is I block it out. And if we stay consistent on day and time, now we have to choose a week of the month to do it. So first, second, third, fourth Monday. Anybody else have anything on their calendars, like on a monthly cycle, that would get in the way of that?
Oh, hold on a second, Brooke. We're gonna meet once a month.
Once a month.
Oh, okay. I thought it was on a weekly basis. Okay, I got it.
Taylor, yes?
I'm not suggesting this, but Vanessa, just so you know, we can set the frequency of how frequently we meet. Once a month sounds great to me. Previously, this group met once a quarter. So we can be very flexible with that. And if we ever find that we do need to meet more frequently, or we find that we need to meet like, around the holidays, if we're going to miss a meeting, that's okay. It's not a weekly commitment.
Okay, got it.
By any means.
So let me just look at, pulling up my calendar here. So if we're looking at having a meeting in August, I would prefer we go to an early week in the month so that we're meeting again fairly soon. So how about the first Monday in August, which would be August 3rd, and then we'll go first Mondays at 7 p.m. from here on out? Does
Good for
that,
me.
we did it. Wow, okay. So we don't need to, I don't think we need to vote on that. I think it's just by consensus.
Yeah, I think that's just logistics.
Okay, so we have a meeting schedule. Congratulations. We've worked our way through the entire agenda in 34 minutes.
You'll send us a notice, right? Somebody will send us a notice to remind us that it's Monday.
Yep. And hopefully what will will happen is, Taylor, do you have to do the Zoom link every month, right? It's a new link every month.
Yes,
Okay.
it's different every month. So every month, either myself, Brooke will do agenda creation with however much help she wants from me. And then every month, either I or Ann will email around the agenda with the link on it in advance.
So I find, just as a Zoom pro tip, when I get a Zoom link, I copy just the link part and throw it in my calendar as the location for the meeting, so that I don't have to go through my emails trying to find it in the 5 minutes before the meeting, which used to happen to me all the time. So when you get the email, grab it, stick it in your repeating calendar event for that week, and then it's right there. So too many Zoom meetings, too much learning. All right, guys, I am super excited. We need is there anything anyone else wants to ask, or Ethan?
Do you send out the agenda, and how do we put agenda items on with you if we'd like to prior to the meeting?
So I work very closely as Vice Chair of Affordable Housing Trust on creation of the agenda. I think it's an important job for the Vice Chair, so that the two chairs are in concert on what the topics are. So Ethan, my intention will be that you, Taylor, and I might have a meeting sometime a couple weeks before the meeting to set the agenda for the upcoming meeting. And anyone who has, so just one thing that I want to clarify about open meeting law is we cannot email more than a quorum of it's more than 3 members cannot be on a same email. So in other words, don't send an email to this entire group ever. The best way to communicate among members of the group is to send whatever information you want to share to staff, and staff is permitted to email. And typically what staff does is they email the chair and blind copy the members, so that there's no inadvertent replies to all that violate open meeting law. So we are not allowed to gather in groups of 3 or more as members of this committee. Now in Nantucket, we will run around, we could all end up in the coffee shop. And it's just really important to remember that while we may end up in the same space, we're not permitted to talk about anything related to the work we do on this committee when we are not in a posted open meeting. So you'll all get used to this. It's a little weird up front, but especially if you're friends with one another already and you're having meals together or whatever. We just like, for instance, an example of this is I go to the select board meetings, well, I used to when they happened in the before times. And a lot of times we would want to go out for dinner afterwards, and only 2 select board members could join the group for dinner because they can't sit around a table in public as a group of 3, because the perception is that they might be talking select board business without a posted open meeting. So it's just to make sure that the work of any group that's official work is done in an open meeting. So anyway, that's how it all works. And I'm really excited to work with you guys. And any questions from anybody before we adjourn? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
A second?
I second.
Okay, by roll call vote. Jocelyn?
Yes.
Vanessa?
Yes.
Athlon?
Yes.
Claudia?
Yes.
Daryl?
Yes.
And Cindy?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes, we are adjourned
Thank you,
by
everybody.
unanimous vote.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys. See you on
Thank
August
you.
3rd.
Congratulations,
Welcome
Chairman.
to town
Congratulations, Ruth.
government.
Yeah.